All right, Allison, this is Anthony again, and yours truly, Jason. We're working on your lifting today. We're going to show you a hip thrust with the band at the knees to warm up. And so he's going to grab what we call a little mini band. It's a small little loop, and he's going to lay shoulders on the bench, band at the knees, and just keep a nice flat back, neutral spine, and bring that feet underneath you a little bit for me, Anthony, there. Good. And then he's going to drive up with the glute. This is a warm-up, not a football player type lift, so just take it easy, feel the glutes warming up. Now if you get more quad and ham, you keep tucking your feet underneath you. He's going to bring them underneath even more. Find the right balance point for your glutes to really fire up. 15 of those. And then external rotation on the knee. He's just going to show you up on the bench, pop a leg up. You can add weight at, whatever you need, 3 to 5 pounds there. It's just nice and smooth, just going down and up, keeping that arm stabilized on the knee. Those are warm-ups, and then we're going to go to your lifts. We got a stiff-legged deadlift, neutral grip. Going to grab dumbbells. Like any deadlift we've taught you hinge at the hip, so you keep your back nice and flat. You're going to go down until you feel a nice pull in the hams, but the back remains flat. Squeeze the glute and come up. And then talk about tempo for a second. This one says a 3-1-X on it. I'll show you what that means. It's 1 1000, 2 1000, 3 1000. He's going to pause for 1 second and then very fast up. And we'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold 1 up quick. So that's 3-1-X. So basically, the first digit is the down or negative. The second digit is a pause, and the last digit tells you the up or concentric. And so I gave you tempos on most exercises, so go ahead and use that same rule for the other ones. Now we got a push-up with a bear hug. He's going to do a push-up, but the difference with this is that before he goes, he's going to act as if he's going to squeeze the floor together. So it's kind of like a fly, and you can't really even see him doing it, but it recruits the chest muscle a lot more, the pecs, okay? So he does a push-up, but the whole time he's squeezing his hands toward each other. For example, if you're on ice, your hands would slide in and touch each other. We're trying to squeeze the floor together as we do push-up up and down. Also can take load off the shoulders there. We're going to do a seated leg curl. I think you said you have a leg curl machine, so he's going to show you a leg curl. Very, very straightforward. Go ahead and curl one leg from anywhere. That's fine. But the key is keeping the foot straight down or neutral. Don't let it fly out. He'll show you what flying out means. The toe, turn the toe out. Like that would be turning the toe out. Do some curls with the toe out for me. Right, that would be incorrect. It's very common for people to do that because the outer ham is more dominant. We want you to stay straight down, toe to the floor. Very good. So do that at whatever machine you can. We got a seated high incline chest press. So this is like a military, but a little bit, not quite as high. We'll go one more up. There you go. So he's got, I don't know, a 60, more like 70-degree bench here. So not quite military press, but not quite like bench. The dumbbells kind of stay more in the front a little bit. He's going to go up and finish right up over the head in there. We don't let the elbow flare on this lift. It's better on the shoulder, especially in your case you got a little tight shoulder issue going on. He's got retracted shoulder blades. Good feet are nice and flat for a base there. Okay. The dumbbell standing biceps curl. Another one I'll remind you the tempo on. This is 201, so he's going to curl up 1 second and then down for 2 seconds. There's no pause. So I'm showing you a different exercise. This one starts with the concentric, which is the faster, and then slow down. The deadlift was the opposite. Seated or standing face pulls. We'll show you a couple different ways to do this there. We'll go standing. All right, he's going to have a band, and he's going to pull that thing apart and pull it right toward his face. And he's pulling apart left and right, and he's while he's going kind of over the head, working a lot of upper back here, rotator cuff. It's just a great overall shoulder lift, and it's for rehab and for strengthening both. And another one you can do if you don't have a band available, you can lay face down on the bench with your head kind of hanging off the end there. You're going to grab, you would use dumbbells, and of course adjust the bench if you need to. And he's going to do the same motion, but with a dumbbell. So it's not the same exact exercise, but it'll do. So go ahead and do a couple of these. This is basically a pull overhead is what we call these, whereas the band would be called a face pull. Very good. All right, very good. That's day one there, or Monday, I would say. And then your Tuesday is a metabolic training. There's no traditional lifting. We're going to be doing a complex here. So he's going to grab two dumbbells. I'm sorry, one dumbbell in this one. And we're going to show you each lift, and it just performing exactly as he's showing you. All right, we'll start off with a clean. I think we taught you these. You clean it up, okay? Kind of rack it to the shoulder. Next one is going to be a forward. Oh, you keep it up the shoulder for me. And then a forward reverse lunge. He's using the opposite leg, which is fine. And then we're going to go. And then, yeah, come back down to the hip there for me. Come back down the hip for me. Good. We're going to do one at a time. So I'll show you again. Going to clean, and then the opposite leg is going to lunge forward, and then try to lunge back without tapping in the center. And then back to clean. Okay, and clean, and then opposite leg. Okay, so basically you're going to do a clean, forward and backward lunge, and then repeat 5 times. And then obviously you're going to take the dumbbell in the other hand, do the exact same thing. We'll just show a couple on this side. Clean, and then forward and reverse, but it's always opposite leg with this, and challenges the core a little bit more. Very good. So you can read through the notes on this. It's basically the complex. You do 5 of those rounds we just showed you. Then you go right to 60 seconds of like a floor calisthenics, squat thrusting, mountain climbers. We'll just show a few of those. Squat thrust, mountain climber, jumpy jacks. You know what those are, hopefully. All right, basically you go through those 60 seconds fast you can, then you rest 2 minutes, and it's all prescribed for you. All right, day B there, the next day for lifting, we got another row. We're going to do a seated row warm-up. So just go ahead and get you to your seated row with your gym. Kind of some pretty medium light weight. We're going to grab handles, of course. This is mainly for retraction there. We got to get this middle back right here really fired up, squeezing. So nice and light, just get that moving. It's really important to activate the back before we do this day of lifting. And then you already did the external rotation on the knee. You did that with the day A, so we're not going to show you that again. Go right to your lifting. We got dumbbell row. Yep, the bent dumbbell row supported though. Got just one arm, sorry. One arm bent dumbbell row here, okay. Gonna finish at a 90 at that elbow, and the theme is trying to kind of keep that dumbbell going toward that left thigh. We're not going to let it come up to the chest. Show improperly up to the chest. That's bad. And then pull it back toward the hip. That's good. Notice his elbow does not hyperextend. Show hyperextension. You don't need to go that high. Just stop at the ribs. High cable triceps push down. Just if you have this, hopefully, I believe I saw this in your gym there. You're going to go ahead and flare your elbows on this. Let that thing flex up and toward the throat, chest, upper chest area, and squeeze it down. And the whole time, try to maintain somewhat of a tight upper back to try and help support the shoulder. If your shoulders hurt you doing this, let me know. We'll get you an alternative exercise. Very good. We got a palms away pull-ups or seated pull-downs. So if you have a pull-up bar, basically just going to do some pull-ups here. You can do them with a jump if you'd like. Palms facing towards you for me. Supinated grip. There you go. Going to jump up there. In her case, if you can do a pull-up without jumping, great. If not, jump up, and then you're going to let yourself kind of easy down. Very good. If you don't have that, go to a lat pull-down machine. Same grip, really very similar muscles activated, but we're seated, so there's a slight variation on that. Okay. Now we got dumbbell lateral raises seated, so he's going to have a seat on the end of this bench here. Take 2 dumbbells, do them very smoothly. Going to raise those dumbbells up to about shoulder height. Don't need to go any higher. And he's going to gently, just very slightly tilt that thumb forward or down toward the ground. So there you go. So imagine you have a glass of water in your hands. You're going to tilt that water out a little bit. It's going to help hit that medial deltoid of the shoulder. That's it for your day B, muscular development. And we're going to go to the next day of metabolic training, which is would be the next day, Thursday in this case. Now we got two-handed complex. We're going to do a deadlift, just a standard old-fashioned deadlift. We taught you this years ago. Okay, notice the knees don't pop forward very much, just an inch or two, and the hips are hinging. And he's getting into a like a ready position in sports there. Deadlifts, you're going to do 8 of those, and you go to push press. You can pop them up with a clean or a cheek curl, and then that's a push press. So you kind of dip down and you thrust them up. And we don't lock out the elbows in this. We kind of like let them kind of float, and then it's a quick up and down. We don't want to control it on the way down as far as slow. Very good. Next one we got bent row. It's going to come down from that. Going to bend and perform a row, just like when you're on the bench using one arm, except you're upright there. Very good. And then that's it for that one. Oh, forgot. Oops, sorry about that. Deadlift, push press. There's a front squat in there, then bent row. Let's go through it again, Anthony, so show the whole thing. Normally you do 8 reps. We'll go through real quick. Deadlift, push press. Now front squat is you keep the dumbbells at the shoulder and we squat. There we go. And then down to the bent row. Okay, he only showed you 1 of each, but you'll do 8 of each. Okay, so 8 deadlifts, 8 push presses, 8 front squats, 8 bent rows, then you're done. So you do them all what are called straight sets and move on to the next one, okay? And then again, you're going to then take 60-second sprint on any cardio equipment at your gym, doesn't matter. You just do it hard, take a 2-minute rest. Last day here, we got day C, muscular development. We're going to do body weight squats, full depth for 15. These are just to, again, to warm up. If you find that you are having trouble getting depth without diving, or let's show her a squat with a dive. See that right there? He's kind of really doing more of a deadlift because the calves are tight, etc., etc. So what can help you is get your heels up on a 2x4 or whatever you can find at your disposal. Then go ahead and stay real tall. Notice there's almost no lean now forward because those knees are tracking properly. Okay? And full depth means all the way ass to grass, as they say. Get way down there, get a little stretch, and then pop back up. 15 of those. Okay, first exercise, dumbbell front squat. Now if you have that heel elevated plate or any object, I mean, I'm using a 2x4 that we paint. Use anything you can find. You can use some encyclopedias, whatever, about an inch, inch and a half. Okay, we're going to do a front squat. Same squat you just warmed up with, except weights are held up at the shoulder. You can hold them on top of the shoulder like he is, or slightly in front of the shoulder, like that. Either way is correct. Next one, double crunch with a med ball. We're just going to show you without the ball, but you can use one. You can use a Swiss ball between your feet, which is a big, huge rubber balls, like these guys, those red ones up there. Med ball in your hands, and he's going to engage the core and try to crunch at the same time the upper and lower body. The legs will go out a little bit farther. Good. And then crunch smoothly though. Okay, and again, pay attention to tempo. This one is a 4-1-4, so it's a crazy difficult tempo. It's 4 seconds up, a pause, and 4 seconds down. Really, really awesome crunch for the body. Okay, and again, just one more time, you can hold a Swiss ball between the legs at the knee or the ankle, and then hold a medicine ball or plate in the hands, either way, or just do body weight until you get stronger with it. Moving on, we got seated leg extension there. I believe you have a seated extension machine at your disposal. Be conservative with the weight here to pay attention to tempo. Do this correctly. We're going to go 2 seconds up, hold, what's that? Bilateral, yep. 2 seconds up, he's going to hold, and then 2 seconds down, and definitely counting your head on these. You really have to do this under control. Do not fly up quickly. We don't want to stress that knee joint out. Also want you to notice his foot position when he comes up. His toes are slightly turned out, just a few degrees. And instead of straight ahead, go straight ahead toes. And then, right, and that's okay to do that, but if we want to develop more of the inner quadricep, we need the toes out slightly. Then he causes any knee pain, just try to find the right angle that your knee is okay at, or avoid these and I'll get you an alternative. Standing calf raise. You can find any elevated surface, that little block of wood that we have, but we're going to show you up on this piece of metal. He's going to do a standing calf raise, one-legged here. He's going to go up, of course, hold, and then down to a stretch and hold. I want you to hold at the top and the bottom. There is no bouncing and there's no speed with this. Okay, and ideally you'd have a little higher elevation, so you could, if you had a stairwell you want to use, you could get a little bit more stretch out of it with a higher object to put your toe up onto. Obviously both sides will be done. Shin raises, a lot of people neglect these. They're not really going to raise your heart rate, but they're really important to offset the stresses of the ankle. And you're going to put your heels up on some. We're using the heel as a lever basically instead of the foot in this case because the muscle is small. Usually you're going to have to hold on to something to stabilize. He's holding on to the post here. And he's going to raise his toes up. Again, hold and pause, and then flex them back down. Real simple. And you're going to get a nice burn across that front of the shin. Very important to include these to balance your ankle forces there. And then you got the half kneeling side bend. Odd looking lift. A lot of people have seen a side bend, but this is a little IQ twist on this thing. He's going to have the opposite, the side we're working, which is more the right side, is going to be down. That's going to give that oblique a little bit more stretch. And in fact, we'll have you put that right leg a little bit more behind the body. That'll stretch it some more. Very good. He's real tall, and he's going to bend laterally. Make sure you don't twist when you bend. You just bend laterally, and he's going to squeeze and engage the right oblique area. Pretty simple side bend, just a lot more challenging than the traditional version. Use plenty of weight on here to feel that stretch. Got to get maximum range of motion right and left, both directions there. Very good. I suggest padding the knee also with something. Don't do it on a hard surface like we are, because we're just demonstrating. Do something to pad your knee. Just a quick little typo there. The leg extension we did on a machine where you kick the leg out is one-sided. So let's just show her that since I forgot there. So the leg extension that we had you doing here, one-sided here. Same thing as before. It's just, like I said, one leg. Just want to be sure we're clear. Same little turn out of the foot. You only need about 10-15 degrees of rotation outward. And then he's going to point to where he wants to feel that. Go ahead and point. It's more the inner quadricep. You don't want to feel the upper rectus femoris is called, hip flexor, which is up higher. We don't want to feel that, and we don't want to feel the outside or the IT band. You got to feel that inner quad. Make sure you find the right angle. Very good. On Saturday, I have you doing optional abdominal training. You're welcome to do whatever kind of abdominals you want. We're going to show you a few, and then you can also include kind of low intensity, steady state aerobic work, which would be like a 2-mile run. Don't do anything intense over the weekend. He's going to take you through a quick little plank series here. We're going to do some multi-planking. We're going to do, this is all done in about a minute's time. You keep increasing your time as you get better. We're going to do a front plank. As you know, knees are barely off the ground. Hips are tucked and core is tight. And if you want to add more difficulty, make it more fun, you can engage the glute. And a real tight glute will also make those abs work. And you're going to hold that, I don't know, 10-15 seconds. Rotate right to a side plank. Try to do it smoothly, keeping the core tight. Very good. Side plank, of course. And then he's going to rotate from there to the other side. Keeping that hip up a little higher there. There we go. And then he can rotate to a back plank. He's going to put the forearms on the ground. Kind of a little break dancer position here. Yeah. Yep, like elbows, sorry. Good. He's going to go right up to a, you're going to be up. You got to pop those behind you. Okay. There you go. We got to get this guy some mobility here. He's going to pop up, the hips off the ground, and that's a back plank. Not done very often, but nonetheless, we'll challenge you, especially for someone who's a seasoned professional trainer here. Quite the challenge here. Can you scoot your elbows any farther back? No. Wow, we got to work on that mobility there, Mr. Power lifter. Anyway, so that's something you can do, but of course, you've got other ab things maybe you like. Feel free to go through that. Okay, so that is your program. Anything you need with questions, concerns, comments, let me know.